Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 77 of Matt and John Make a Podcast. Matt here on the bottom, as you can see. John's here on the top, and we got a couple topics to talk to you about this week, and we're gonna start off with WandaVision first, then get into our Super Bowl picks. Super Bowl, as of this recording, going up here on the channel is tomorrow, Sunday, against Tampa Bay and Kansas City Chiefs, and some little offbeat, if you will, wrestling news or talk, I guess, about the use of celebrities in wrestling and just our frustrations with the internet and reactions there. A little sidebar conversation, if you will, but let's get into WandaVision
Wonder.
episode. I wonder. WandaVision episode 4, I believe we're on to talk about.
Right.
Again, since we're recording this on middle of the week, not middle of the week, Thursday, so we're always a week behind with these reviews and reactions to the shows. But episode 4, we don't get any sitcoms. We get more real life perspective of what's going on, right as we start from the end of the blip or whatever, when people are coming back, to up and to the point of episode 3 when was it Maxine? That's her name.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, gets yeeted out of Westview, and what happens after that. So I thought this was a pretty good excellent episode. It ties everything we saw in the first 3 episodes, puts it all together. You get more clarity of what's actually happening, and just seeing the whole craziness of what's happening in this made up town.
Yeah. I mean, I was, needless to say, I was in kind of shock at how different that this episode was from every other episode. Pretty much, I had a complete 180 on the show in general, because now this opens up a whole bunch of things going forward for the second half of season 1 here. It definitely really focuses on just how much of control that Wanda has, and we're kind of seeing her personal world is starting to expand, or it's going to be expanding here. And we see Matt Vision. He is 100% dead. He's
Yes,
100% dead. So
it is.
so that was confirmed. That
Yeah.
if there was any doubt, this was confirmed. Because as you saw when when Wanda kicked out what's her face, and then there was all of that damage at her house, and Vision walks, and you see his bow wound from when Thanos just effed him up. So
Yeah.
it just I'm very and you just see just the interactions with her neighbors, and you see how Sword is trying to infiltrate and get in this reality. But
Hmm.
anytime that they seem to get somewhat close, Wanda just basically changes everything and turns things back to what they were. Um, Very interested to see how they're going to exactly how they're going to convince her or stop her. And I saw I heard a quote from the actor who plays Wanda, and she was saying at the season finale they're gonna have a Luke Luke Skywalker scene in that finale, which makes me think, okay, so then if that's the case, Matt, then we gotta be having an of Avengers showing up. You would think,
I would think that I is a Doctor Strange or Luke Skywalker type of thing.
yeah. I mean, like if I mean, I feel like that the only person who could really probably could probably stop her is probably Doctor is Doctor is Doctor Strange, because if you look at all of the other heroes, he's really the only one who has those, like, I mean, like, maybe Captain Marvel, maybe her,
Maybe because there's connections with
right?
Maxine.
I didn't think about that too. I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
that's
that's
possible
yeah,
because
Captain Marvel.
this ties into the new Doctor Strange movie.
Right.
So I'm leaning to that and seeing how that works into it.
Mhm.
It's to say a Luke Skywalker esque thing puts a lot of expectation on that.
Right.
I'm going to assume it's Doctor Strange because to me that makes most sense. I mean, you never know. Nobody really saw. Well, people Luke Skywalker. There was rumors like he was part of. It could be him or it could be this
But like,
person.
no one realistically thought that it was going to be him,
Yeah.
though. So
Right.
I mean, like, if they're going to have something that's similar, I mean, has to be an Avenger who fought in Endgame. And to me, I really think that there's really only two qualified candidates, and that would be Captain Marvel
Or
and Doctor Strange.
can I don't know if this even lines up to anything they're doing, right? But since would it be crazy because I think she, if correct me if I'm wrong, she might have connections to people, some form of her kids of X-Men type of thing. Does she,
Right.
aren't her kids connected with
Yes,
X-Men?
yes. So basically,
That if you have something with the X-Men coming in, whoever,
yeah,
I think that's the big thing because X-Men's finally bought
right.
with
Well,
Sony.
and like her children, I think they were part of the X-Men in some way. I forget how exactly that the comics were, but I'm pretty sure that they were
Yeah, forget.
involved, that they were involved in some way with them. So I could see that too.
Like if that's you want a big thing,
Yeah.
there you go. How that
Well,
you have to-
especially if it's leading into Doctor Strange.
yeah,
I mean, and
it's possible. Yeah,
which I'm not even sure if they have even begun filming for that yet, because I would assume that probably isn't coming out until 2022 at the very earliest. I forget when that of the release date
I think it might be 2022.
let me double check on that. All right, so right now, March 25th of 2022. So actually, it's a full year, or just about a full year, from now. So yeah, okay, yeah. I'm very interested to see how they decide, or where they decide to go with this. But needless to say, Matt, after this week, excitement level went through the like freaking roof there. Needless to say,
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was good to see. All the real life progression, and even that little moment after she shoots Maxine out. Or is it Maxine? Geraldine.
No, I mean, I wouldn't say.
Hang
I'll
on.
I'll look it up if you
Wait,
want me
I have it here. Well, anyways, when she shoots her out,
to.
then there's like that moment Geraldine. Okay,
Geraldine. Okay.
Maxine. What the hell? People are
Maxine.
probably like screaming at their computers here watching this. So Geraldine,
Fucking
I know
idiots.
it. Yeah, the hell. Um, yeah. So she was. Once she went out, they showed like what happened right after that,
Right.
and all that stuff, and how she reacted to that, and then how she just repaired the hole, and then Vision came in, and she was like, "Oh, nothing happened,"
Mm-hmm.
pretty much. And
Yeah.
she's just wants that perfect life, and she's doing whatever she has to do
Mm-hmm.
to just have her and Vision live
Well,
like
and what was telling,
forever.
yeah, what was telling too is like when like Vision said, "Hey, we can go wherever that we want," and she said, "No, this is where we belong."
Yeah,
So,
that's
like, I mean, like she's the quote unquote villain this season. I don't think that we're ever are going to see a like big bad in this season. I think it's just going to be mainly about her slowly coming to grips, or someone is going to force her to pretty much just like let go, because I think that's hard for her to like let go
yeah.
of like Vision no longer being a part of her life. And it just it's pretty crazy. But I mean and I completely forgot that that like a woman who was in like Thor. I was like, oh, I completely forgot
Oh,
that.
I forgot. Yeah, I
I
knew she was
forgot
before, but yeah,
completely forgot that she was in Thor. I was like, wow, that was. I was like, I swear I've seen her before, and then someone said, oh, she was in both like Thor films. I was like, well, yeah, I completely forgot about that.
I
So,
forgot which movie. I knew she was in something. I just forgot. There's
right,
there's so much. There's so much to
yeah,
remember. Like little things. Like
hmm
I forget everything. Like, don't you remember this? And I'm like, no. There's like 50,000 plot twists and turns and things and details to remember.
well, they have been doing MCU films, I believe, since 2008. So,
Yes, there's a lot. There's like too much little things to remember. It's like,
well,
oh,
could you imagine going from the very beginning and just watching every single film in order?
I mean, I could. I wouldn't mind doing that one day, but one day, after like to take like I have to do it over the summer when I'm
Oh
free
yeah, yeah, for
because
sure.
like that would be a thing. I still got to finish my Star Wars thing. I'm still stuck on 8. I always meant to do that and I got stuck. But anywho, anything. So I'm interested at least tomorrow as we're recording this how the episode 5 is gonna come along. Did you check out that trailer they released for like the second half of the show?
I did, yeah.
It looks like stuff's
Yeah,
gonna get good.
yeah, shit's gonna be hitting the fan here on
Yeah,
the second half of the season, and I think anyone who tapped out here, yeah, you should definitely just be a little bit more patient.
yeah. Let them tell the story because they
I mean,
teased you because you're watching. You're like, okay, what is happening? Episode
exactly,
4 is like,
yeah,
oh, this is what's happening,
exactly, and
and now it's gonna be like, how does both sides deal with what's happening?
yeah, and it's just, man, I can't wait, and definitely once I get on my lunch break tomorrow, I'm definitely gonna be jumping on that
Oh,
on
absolutely.
episode 5 there. But all right, so now we're going to move on to our Super Bowl preview between the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Um, no lie, Matt, I kind of forgot that the Super Bowl was this weekend. maybe
COVID.
yeah, it's just been one of those years where you completely forget. Oh yeah, there's the Super Bowl is happening, and
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't feel like it.
it really doesn't. And did you hear about this story with the Kansas City Chiefs barber? He tested positive for COVID. And he was cutting. I believe it was the Kansas City Chiefs center, like a mid cut, and once they found out that he tested positive, they yanked him out of the haircut. And yeah, but like,
No, I missed that.
well, yeah, because supposedly that there was like about 20 Kansas City Chiefs or so around there, but fortunately, no one tested positive outside the the barber there. So, needless to say, that would have been a catastrophic.
You go get a haircut, and bam, you got COVID.
And you got COVID. So, but as this game is concerned, honestly, like, it's a freaking like no win situation for me as a Steelers fan, because on one side, Antonio Brown's on one side and Le'Veon Bell is on the other side. So I feel bad for that there. And number two, Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes. It's like, well,
I rather Kansas City.
Yeah, honestly,
Just,
I don't really have a preference in this game, of who I actually
no.
want to win. Who do I think is going to win? I'm going to go with Kansas City. I'm still, although I do think that this game is going to be really close. And something else that that shouldn't be forgotten, Matt. This is actually a freaking home game for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, since they are the first team in Super Bowl history to play the Super Bowl in their own.
It amazes me it took this long.
Yeah, it just I mean, how, like, we've seen it over and over again. Like, teams are like, oh yeah, it would be great, but it has never happened before in the Super Bowl era, which is freaking nuts.
Yeah, I'm going with Kansas City. I just can't bet against Mahomes, because I just feel like that fourth quarter magic will happen. But at the same time, I'm not confident in that pick, because on the other hand, you got Tom Brady, and I didn't think they would make it all the way here in the playoffs. But Tampa Bay's been playing great football in the playoffs.
They've been playing good, but I mean, I feel a lot better about Kansas City's chances, just because of Mahomes. But at the same time,
I think it's going to be close.
At the same time, they beat Aaron Rodgers, and to me, I don't think that the Packers and Kansas City Chiefs are all that different from one another. Their defenses, I think, are pretty similar. They have similar wide receiving cores. I mean, the only difference would be, obviously, with Kansas City, they obviously they have faster wide receivers. But I don't view it as like, oh, it's supremely different from the Green Bay game. But at the same time, too, though, Andy Reid is a superior coach to a LaFleur, who decides to kick the field goal on fourth and freaking goal, instead of going for the touchdown with Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback. So it's I do think that it's going to be a close game, though, and just based on how Kansas City has played. I mean, outside of the AFC Championship game, where they just destroyed the Buffalo Bills, they've been in pretty much a close game from the second half of the season, and including their game against Cleveland. So I'm expecting that to be similar here,
Mm.
and even if we go back to when these two teams played back in November or October, um, yeah, Kansas City got off to what it was like a 3 or 4 touchdown lead or something, but that game was that game was only a like field goal game. So it's just like came down to the very end there. It's just if Tampa Bay gets off to a better start and doesn't turn the ball over, um or just is able to keep up with Kansas City, I mean, um they can very easily win this game. And I mean, these two teams are pretty evenly matched, but I am going to go with Patrick Mahomes. And man, in his first 3 seasons, he will have been to the AFC Championship game and win two Super Bowls. I mean, the only guy who I felt has been really comparable to that to begin his career has been Tom Brady. I ironically. So um it's going to be very interesting how this all plays out. What's the current line for this right now, man?
Uh, Kansas City is a favorite minus 159, and
Mm-hmm.
the spread is minus Kansas City minus 3.
Mm-hmm.
Over and
Sounds
under
about.
is 56, I believe.
Hmm. I would, yeah, I would take the over on that one there.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
I would think technically in Raymond James Stadium, average of 52.4 points per game.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would probably do that as well. So,
And the over
um,
under record is 4-4
huh,
this year.
huh.
So
Yeah, that's pretty much a freaking wash right there. But yeah, so this will be the last of football until August. If we have, if we even have if we even have preseason football there, it just kind of depends how everything is going with the vaccine and COVID they're in. If people are going, and hopefully by then we'll see things getting back to freaking normal. We can start going to events by then, man. We can only hope. But yeah. So now we're going to shift gears to some professional wrestling talk. And Matt, this was definitely a topic this week, and I figured it was a something that we could discuss, and that was celebrities in professional wrestling. Now, I have been watching wrestling pretty much since I was 8 years old, and I've seen people such as as like a Mike Tyson, from like athletes to singers, entertainers, you name it. We have seen. I mean, hell, WWE was pretty much built on that, especially
right.
when you look back at like WrestleMania 1,
Oh yes.
with with like Mr. T. Now, the whole controversy here is obviously from Sunday. We saw like
And Monday.
and and Monday too.
Yeah.
Bad Bunny. People were losing their shit because they were like, "Who is this guy? Why is he on TV? He shouldn't be on TV. He's taking a spot away from talent." And I'm like, "Hey guys, I'll be first to admit I had no idea who this
Yeah. I
man
haven't
was."
heard it. I don't think, from what I heard, I, I don't know how good he is. I don't like his music,
I don't either,
but
but
that's not. I didn't think it's good. But that doesn't take away from the fact that
a
apparently he's
simple
number one
a simple
Latin singer.
Google search will say,
Yes.
"Oh, that's why they brought him in." Yeah, like it just I just
I haven't. I swear I've never heard of them before. Uh,
it's
they advertised them for the
right.
Rumble, but business wise,
It was a good
how, why
decision. Why wouldn't you do it?
why wouldn't the hell you do it?
Especially
Why wouldn't AEW bring in Snoop Dogg when he's
or
on that
Shaq or
or
Shaq.
Snack or Mike Tyson?
Exactly. It's like, guys, look at the current landscape right now, and how little people are actually watching wrestling compared to how people like used to. Any sort of like a mainstream publicity that you are going to get, you will gladly take, which is why they are clearly are billing to for like Bad Bunny to probably be in a tag team match at like WrestleMania. Which, I mean, hell, if you're any one of those guys, you're like, and especially for a guy in Damian Priest, who that is a hell of a first program for him, is being in this high profile match with this singer here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, already doing he's already doing better than like Keith Lee right now when like he first came up. So it's just, I mean like that it can only help them, you
Yeah,
know.
they had Big Show and Floyd Mayweather. Like that was big
Mm-hmm.
back in the height of Mayweather.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm like Mike Tyson,
Countless names.
obviously.
Mike Tyson back in the day was a WrestleMania
14.
14.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
he
was about to
was
say
the
14.
one of the main reasons why they were beating WCW, because they were able to get Iron Mike and having him associated with Austin. It really shifted the tides there, and I just don't think that people really understand that. Like, too many wrestling fans live in this freaking bubble here, to where like, oh no, only professional wrestling fans can like watch the show. Only we
No,
only we
go ahead.
only yeah we only like need like wrestlers. We don't need these entertainers and stuff. And I just, if you have been watching wrestling for as long as I have been, you gladly welcome that. However, there are some exceptions. I mean, like, we've seen a lot of bad celebrities too. If you go back on like Raw from 2009 to 2010, when they were doing the like annual Raw guest host, there were a lot of really bad hosts. Matt, and I'm sure like you recall those
Yeah,
very
but
vividly.
yeah, but at the same time, it was why wouldn't you try something
Exactly.
like? I mean, yeah, sometimes it didn't always work out, but stuff happens and you get pressed. Now, does it sustain? That's one thing, but
No.
you could question that until the cows come home, but
Yeah.
it doesn't hurt. I mean, it can't hurt for a time.
No.
Like, I'd rather do that and then not do anything at all, obviously.
Mhm.
Because how many times, especially when uh, ESPN and WWE were closer, and even not, they would show a celebrity A, B, or C on WWE doing
Hell,
a move or whatever.
remember when Tyson Fury and like LeVar Ball were on WWE
Oh, the ball thing, yeah,
program?
took
Yeah,
off.
like that got huge pub publicity there. Like, it just, I mean, like, yeah, I mean, it was somewhat controversial, but hell, I mean, if like you're Vince, you freaking want that there. I mean,
You
uh,
sit there and laugh, and go, okay, yeah, give me
yeah,
more.
I mean, hell, and in this case with like Bad Bunny, he's actually a huge professional wrestling fan, and that only helps
Yeah.
only helps things. And supposedly he's down and he's currently training at the at the um, at the performance center. So he's definitely taking this thing seriously, and that is the one thing that I can really respect about that is like he's willing to put in the time, put in the work, and not make everything look like a complete joke. Now, I mean,
Right.
like, but I mean, like, there are going to be people pissed at this, and you really can't change it, especially if you follow Jim Cornette's podcast.
I
he
haven't listened to it yet.
he buried the living hell out of him, but I mean that's pretty much what you would expect from Jim there. Um,
Yes.
but I mean, I didn't. I mean, I'm perfectly fine
Yeah.
with this thing,
It's Mania. Like,
and especially if
and
you
it's 2 nights.
right, and especially if you could possibly skyrocket Damian Priest there. I mean, hell, I mean I mean, like to me that would be the number one key point in all of this, Matt, is get this guy to a certain point in this
Yeah.
feud and then send him off to like
To wherever he has to go. And another side effect of this is WrestleMania is going to be on Peacock now,
exactly.
and you get Bad Bunny, and that's how many
It's
people
perfect right
you
there.
get to. Oh, I'm going to get a free trial of Peacock,
Mm-hmm.
so I can see Mania. Uh, my friend likes wrestling. I want to watch with him, but I kind of want to see what Bad Bunny has to
Exactly.
do on this day. So I don't see how it's not a win-win for both sides.
And more
And even
so and more so internationally, Matt, like he's a
yeah,
huge name
that's
internationally.
that's and well, yeah, and even Peacock's not over there yet,
No.
but still subscribers and stuff, and to get the views, I like I don't get the downside for one match
No.
publicity.
Especially
Find me the downside
especially
of this.
on an undercard which hey guys, it's like two nights
Yeah,
this year
it's one
against
match.
it's one.
Even if it was one night, let's say not a day long, but like before,
Mm-hmm.
I know, like depending on what was going on, I would it be that big of a would it be that big of a deal? We've
No.
seen like Mayweather and Big Show. That was a regular length, if you
Mm-hmm.
will, Mania. That was in a way that was entertaining,
It was
and
really
that got
entertaining.
views. They pulled it off,
Mm-hmm.
and nobody. I don't think anybody was complaining. I don't remember, but anyway, that's besides the point right now. But uh, it's 2 nights. It's one match. It's what gonna go 10 minutes,
Yeah, at the very most, I feel
15 maybe.
and like mostly
That's pushing it.
and mostly you you are gonna have like Damien in there selling or
Doing most of
being
the work.
yeah, and like he'll just come in on some like hot tags,
Mm-hmm.
and that'll be pretty much it. So
And
it's
Miz and Morrison are gonna sell the hell out of him.
well, yeah,
Uh,
as they should, and
mhm.
if you're them, you take advantage of this as much as you can because as we have seen from them, Matt, it's been mostly horrible shit with them this year.
It's
So
up and down with them.
yeah,
I'll give them that.
mainly
I'll give
down.
them. I'll give them up and down.
But yeah. So I mean, and kind of closing this thing here is just like, can we just like chill it on the celebrity outrage. It only helps the freaking product. It would be one thing if it was a like C-list person who isn't really popular anymore and it's just kind of, but
That girl from The Bachelor
right, it's just
or Bachelorette that was
yeah,
backstage mysteriously and just
yeah,
disappeared.
right. It just like
But somebody with at least a name that
right,
may not like his music right now, but that's who am I?
right.
Just because I don't like you, why are you on my TV?
And hell,
I don't. Yeah,
and hell, people are even like super pissed about like Shaq being in a tag match on Dynamite on like March 3rd. I'm like,
I
God,
I don't I don't like the build, but I understand why they're doing it.
exactly.
Like the build and why they're doing it is two different things.
Right. It's just like, hey guys, they first of all, he works for like TNT, and you want to try and be as cordial and keep your television partner as happy as possible. And like hell, this could very well put Dynamite over like 1 million viewers, or because I do think that there are going to be some people curious at like how he does here. So it's like, I mean, like you'll take any sort of like pub that you can there. But I am in agreement with like you, Matt. The build has like not been good.
No,
We still don't know why Jade is with Shaq. Like, what's the connection here? They never really explained
yeah,
that.
it's just like it
It
just
just
happened,
it
and then
just
it went away, and it was kind
right.
of there.
Well, it was supposed to be Cody and like Brandy,
And
but
pull out
obviously,
game week.
yeah, obviously with like Brandy, she got pregnant, so they brought in like Red Velvet, which
Is it kind of almost better in a way?
yeah, um
In a
Red
way,
Velvet, for as inexperienced as she is miles better than Brandy is. Like
and going
it's
against somebody in Jade who's inexperienced too.
yeah, and the thing about her is, man, we really don't know all that much about her. The only thing that we actually know is like she lifts weights. It's literally the only.
She's in great shape, but
That's
I can,
all that
I,
that we
I,
know. Like we
yeah,
don't know like we don't know what's her what's her end game. Like why did she go and associate herself with Shaq? Like just they never really explained any of this. I would hope that they would do so between now and March 3rd, but then again, I'm expecting way too much here. But
yeah.
yeah,
How dare you?
yeah. How dare I? Oh yeah, and Matt, there was like one other thing I just wanted to briefly touch on. Have you heard about the comments of Stephen A. Smith had about like UFC women's fighters by chance?
No.
Well, he was basically saying that um let me pull this up here so that I'm not misquoting or anything here. Because oh yeah, here's pretty much what he said here. He was like, when I think about a pugilistic sport, I don't like seeing women involved in that at all. I just don't like it. I wouldn't promote legislating laws to to prohibit them from like doing so, but I don't want to see women punching each other in the face. I don't want to see women fighting in the octagon and stuff like that. Yeah, and needless to say, Matt, this pissed off a lot of people here, and like
Fair.
rightfully so. I do think though that it's he's being taken slightly out of context here because he's not saying like women shouldn't be able
Yeah,
to. He's just saying like
he should never set the outlaw thing.
right. He's
But
just saying he's saying for himself. I don't want
yeah,
to see it. He's not saying no. These like saying like it should be absolutely banned. But I will say though, it was a really dumb thing for him to say because to Matt for how important UFC is on
yeah,
ESPN and especially on ESPN Plus and for how important their content is for that platform alone is where a bulk of their content is for that company. So I just don't understand why he would say this. I get it. He's a very hot take guy to where like he'll just say whatever. But
right.
this year, I guarantee you, Dana wasn't thrilled about him
Yeah,
saying this.
I, I, he probably could have said it a different way
Mhm.
that it it wouldn't have been taken out of context
Right,
as much or anger as much people.
right,
If he just said something as similar as something like, I, I, I can't, I just can't get into the women fighting. It's just not for me.
yeah.
I don't
If
like women fighting. That's just me.
right.
It's okay to how he said it.
Right, but the way that he said it is like, oh, and how a lot of people perceived it was women should be outlawed and banning
Yeah,
fighting
yeah,
in general.
yeah. I didn't get that
Right.
out of that
No,
context
but
on
but
face value.
but I mean, as we've seen from people such as like JJ, Joanna, Jan, Jan, Jan Jacek, the former UFC strawweight champion, she wasn't too happy, and I cannot blame them at all. They have every right to say that, and I'm not gonna say that they're completely wrong because it was still a really stupid thing for him to actually say, especially for how vital that the freaking business is for women's MMA and how much it has grown with in the last 5 years. I mean, they've come a long way since the fights of like a Ronda Rousey, where she was just mowing through girls who, quite frankly, just weren't any good and just didn't. And now to where like you just see fighters such as Chris Cyborg and Amanda Nunes and all of these killers that they got, and it's really entertaining for me to like freaking watch. Like I can
Mm-hmm.
watch a women's MMA and not get and not and not like be and not be uncomfortable, especially too, Matt. We have been watching movies, wrestling, like we see that all the time. It's just here.
I don't even
It's
think
just
twice
real.
about it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Like I don't think twice about it. If anything, like it's just I mean like it's entertainment, but at the same time you have that profound respect as well and how
Because
I
they can
would
kick my ass.
exactly and I would gladly pay and I do consistently every single month. Matt and I constantly um we constantly buy these shows because they are really fun, they're really entertaining, but at the same time too, not everyone is going to have the same view. Just like
Right.
there's going to be a lot of people who just are not comfortable seeing women get like
Yeah.
get like beat up or beating up someone, you know.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, if you don't like it, you don't like it.
Exactly.
Like, I'm not gonna say how dare you for not
Yeah.
liking women fighting, but it, it is what it is. And again, I see. I want to say no difference. It's fighting. It's two people punching the crap out of each other and trying to
Mhm.
knock somebody out or submit somebody.
Exactly. And
And
as
why can't women do that?
exactly, and how, and especially, Matt, the last like 5 years, and we're seeing, especially in MMA and like professional wrestling, women are a lot bigger part of those industries now, because for the longest time, especially in pro wrestling, like if you go back to WWE back in 2010, they were a freaking joke. Like they got like 2 or 3 minutes sometimes at the very most.
Yeah, and
Uh,
go. Yeah, and then go back. You had bra and panty matches,
yeah,
nightgown matches,
nightgown matches.
uh,
Like you would have like especially like
gravy
Halloween, ha-
gravy matches.
yeah, gravy matches, or like Halloween, like shit as well, or Christmas themed matches.
Santa's little helper match.
Right. It's just like where as now you see them, they, I mean
They
hell,
would get crucified if they did
yeah,
something like that.
I mean like now, Jesus Christ,
Crucified.
like the shit that they did back in 2098 and 99, you could not get away with that. I mean
No, so
what,
many groups would be outraged.
just it just, I mean, like, and to me, like, the changes were like for the good, because like for the longest time we just treated like women as like objects, to be perfectly
Yeah.
honest, especially Vince did,
And
like,
if we're and if we're being honest, I mean, as well, it would probably still in a way now, but back then, you see a hot woman and barely anything on. That yay, my eyes.
well, especially too when they were targeting 18 to 49, that was their main demographic there, and
Yep.
all of those, like, college males there. I mean, hell, I mean, like,
Yeah.
you know,
You go from that to Sasha and Bailey in Brooklyn stealing the show and
mhm.
having
Women's
match of
Royal,
the year
yeah,
Rumble,
yeah,
main event Mania,
hmm,
Hell in a Cell, Money in the Bank, all this stuff that they're giving them to do,
hmm,
and more times than not, Elimination Chamber, more times than not, hitting it out of the park.
yeah,
I can argue. I mean, not everything is successful, but so
yeah,
is life. So go life. But still, it's
yeah.
a big. You go from bra and panties,
To
main
base,
eventing WrestleMania with Ronda freaking Rousey, Becky Lynch,
hmm,
Charlotte, three women, athletic women who can go.
hmm,
Not saying like, not discounting the Trish Stratuses and the Litas, the anomalies, even though they did that bra and panty stuff,
hmm.
those two were top notch
Yeah,
stars, and I know I'm
that
forgetting
was
so many
different.
other
I'm
people.
looking China.
China,
China was huge back then.
she was an anomaly. You
Hmm,
had throwback like a Jazz.
hmm.
She wasn't used a lot, but she was a scary and she can
Ivory,
kick your ass. Ivory,
Ivory too.
Victoria,
Like Molly
Gail
Holly.
Kim,
Yeah.
Molly Holly.
Hmm.
Um, they were still mixed, intertwined with that, but they were the top in terms of wrestling ability, and
Right.
then you had the other, almost for show girls, kind of.
Yeah.
They could go, but
Hmm.
they were.
Mostly, I mean, like, especially when they got in after like 2003, 2004, where they just were just basically just signing, we're just basically signing models, essentially, and
Yep.
just who didn't know how to exactly work. They were just like really pretty faces, and and as good as they were great to like look at, like if you asked them to do a like 8 or 10 minute match, they couldn't do it.
It
Like
wasn't the best, no.
it was actually really bad. It wasn't until NXT came along where we saw girls such as Paige and Emma, and obviously Sasha, Charlotte, Becky, and Bailey, was when that whole thing began to change.
And now look at it now.
And exactly, and it's made the company a
The
whole lot.
depth.
Yeah, and we talk about this every single Friday, and we're finally are beginning to see that with like Dynamite, they're finally starting to put together some pretty good shit now, and now it's just, can they be consistent with,
Yeah.
which that's always going to be a challenge. But yeah, guys, I think that's going to pretty much do it for this week, Matt. Is that it for you as well there?
It's I have nothing else right
Yeah.
now.
hmm Yeah. Yeah, guys. Would like to thank you for tuning in to our like live stream. We talked Raw, Dynamite, NXT, and obviously SmackDown. Kind of just like we're starting to kind of see where things possibly could be going for like for for like WrestleMania. And and yeah, it's going to be a lot of shit going on because too, Matt, something else I completely forgot about. We are less than 2 weeks away from like takeover, and then the following week I believe is the elimination chamber. So it's like there's a lot of things that are coming up, and I
Mhm.
believe that AEW's pay-per-view is
Getting in March.
yep, is the first week of like March, and then after that we have like Fastlane, and then like WrestleMania is going to be right there as well. So a lot of content is going to be coming onto
The
the
the road to Mania has begun.
it has begun, and I'll let you close out here, man.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
again, what John said. Thanks everybody for watching. That our wrestling review show on yesterday and every Friday. Shortly when after SmackDown goes off the air around 10:05 ish,
Mhm.
give or take. Yeah, and then if you're watching this, if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe, like, comment. It really helps us out. Every new podcast comes out every Saturday at 3 here on the channel. So keep it consistent. Something to expect every weekend. And so for John, I'm Matt. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.